Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
So we had completed 9th verse or 8th verse?
8th verse.
8th Mataji.
Okay. Krishna says, just fix your mind in me. Now let us see one by one. Mayeva mana adhatsva. It was the verse. Mai buddhim niveshaya. Nivasishyasi mayeva ata urdhvam na samshaya. Bring your Bhagavad Gita book and sit. Now, fix your mind in me. The next is what? Atha chit, 9th verse, 12th chapter, 9th verse. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram abhyasa yoge na tato mami chaptum dhananjaya. 12th chapter, 9th verse. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram abhyasa yoge na tato mami chaptum dhananjaya. So Krishna says, na shaknoshi, if you're not able to fix your mind in me without deviation, then atta chittam, chittam means mind, samadhatum, na shaknoshi, nahi ho raha hai. I am not able to fix the mind in you, Krishna, without deviation. My mind is going here and there. That's why Srila Prabhupada says, follow this at least. Because here Krishna says, follow the regulatory principles of bhakti. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Abhyasa yogena tato. Mami chaptum dhananjay. Abhyasa, by practice of devotional service. So Prabhupada writes, practice of devotional service happens only by following regulatory principles. The 4 regulatory principles which Srila Prabhupada has given: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Association rules, association of devotees, book reading, dhamvas, chanting, deity worship. So 5 rules and 4 regulations. If a person follows, easy to progress in devotion. Because our mind is so much absorbed in other things, mind is not allowing us to fix it in Krishna. That is without deviation. Mind goes here and there. So many thought processes are there, especially when you chant only, many thought processes come. So how to do then? So that is why follow the regulatory principles. Abhyasa. And practice it. Devotional service is a practice. First practice. It said practice and preach. One has to practice devotional service. Arunadil.
Hare Krishna Mataji. अथ चिन्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Purport. In this verse, 2 different processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love, and the other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love. For this second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment to Krishna. Bhakti Yoga is the purification of the senses. At the present moment in material existence, the senses are always impure, being engaged in sense gratification. But by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, these senses can become purified, and in the purified state, they come directly in contact with Supreme Lord. In this material existence, I may be engaged in some service to some master, but I don't really lovingly serve my master. I simply serve to get some money, and the master also is not in love. He takes service from me and pays me. So there is no question of love. But for spiritual life, one must be elevated to the pure stage of love. That stage of love can be achieved by practice of devotional service, performed with the present senses. This love of God is now in a dormant state or a state in everyone's heart, and their love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by materials association. Now the heart has to be purified of the material association, and that dormant natural love for Krishna has to be revived. That is the whole process. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. One should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter the temple, and offer prayers and chant Hare Krishna. The collect flowers to collect flowers to offer the deities, cook foodstuffs to offer the deities, take prasadam, and so on. There are various rules and regulation which one should follow. And one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone in rise to the level of God, and then he is sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga under the rules and regulation with the direction of the spiritual master will surely bring one to the stage of love of God. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so now if your mind is not fixed, at least follow the rules and regulations and progress in devotional service. Now next is, I am not able to do that also. Abhyasepi samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurman siddhim avapsyasi. Everybody is not able to follow rules and regulations. Now see how Krishna has given solutions for everything. Mind is not fixed, okay, follow rules and regulations. Wake up early in the morning, chant. I'm not able to do that. Then Krishna says, just try to work for me. If you work for me, you will come to the perfect stage. It is work for me. Not able to get up early in the morning, not able to chant 16 rounds. Some people are not able to do, but they have faith. They have faith in Krishna. They like Krishna. They love Krishna. Okay, work for me, Krishna says. Abhyase api asamartha. I'm not able to do. Asamartha. Mat karma, Krishna says. Dedicate your work for me. Madartham. Api karmani. Kurvan siddhim avapstasi. Even then also you will attain me to the perfect stage. First is fixed mind. Not able to do. Okay, follow regulatory principles. Not able to do. Okay, work for me, Krishna says. Then we'll see afterwards. Even that also is not able to do, then what happens? Okay, Pushpani. But I am confused, huh? Who is in mute and who is not in mute. I am going to ask everyone. Read. Read.
Hare Krishna. Abhyasepya
Krishna, I think picture is only in the
asamarthosi
mute.
matkarma paramo bhava mad artham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. One who is not able even to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. How to do this work has already been explained in the 55th verse of the 11th chapter. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness and they require help. So, even if one cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand, so the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for propagating Krishna consciousness, or he can help with publications. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the result of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love for God, whereupon one becomes perfect. Hare Krishna.
Now he's not able to work for Krishna. Then what? Fix your mind. Follow the regulatory principles. At least work for me. Now somebody says, I'm not able to work for you. Then, अथैतदप्य शक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु हितात्मवान्. अथैतदप्य शक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. Atha, even though Ashaktah, unable, he is not able to work for Krishna. Then Krishna says, Sarva karma falatyaga, give up your phala, renounce that phala. You're not able to work for me, okay, renounce your fruitive work or fruitive, the result of your work. Don't renounce the work, give up the results of your work and try to be self-situated. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up the results of your work and try to be self-situated. So in this way, he can give the results to the Krishna conscious movement. That is how propagation of Krishna consciousness happens. Somebody gives dhanam. Yes, that is how here sympathetic word has been given in the previous paragraph. Everybody cannot do in the beginning stage, like somebody is not able to fix their mind. Somebody is not able to follow the principles. Somebody is not able to work for Krishna. At least he can give the share of his work for Krishna. So that is why preaching activity should include raising funds also. By raising funds, you are showing your sympathy to that person. And because of that, he shares his result of the work to Krishna. He results of the work with Krishna. And because of that, he can progress in devotional service. A big businessman, he cannot follow rules and regulations. He's not able to work for Krishna, but he can give his results. So that is how you should show compassion. So building a temple is nothing but a compassionate activity by which you are bringing many people together and allowing them to progress in devotional service. How they will progress, that is Krishna's outlook. How the self-realization will happen, again Krishna's outlook. They'll get a chance to be born in a devotee's family. They'll get the chance to perform devotional service, maybe in this lifetime itself, pure devotional service. Pure devotional service is Savai Mana Krishna Padaravind. They always think about Krishna. That is not happening, okay. At least follow the regulation principles set up by your acharyas. Every acharya has set up their system of regulatory principles. If one sampradaya has a system of regulatory principles, another sampradaya has its own way. Like in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, it starts from right from kindling the fire. They have the pasurams. Right from taking bath, they have a pasuram. How to dress yourself, they have a pasuram. How to light the fire, they have a pasuram. How to cook, they have a pasuram. That means completely absorbed. So Acharya has taught in that way. Then sit down and chant all the three mantras, Dvai mantra, Ashtakshara mantra, Charam Shloki mantra. They have certain times. So what our Acharya has given need not be applicable to that. What their Acharya has given need not be followed by us. It is Upadeshana, like Nimbarka Sampradaya. They have their own ways of doing it. You have Kumar that is Nimbarka. Then you have Rudra Sampradaya, Vallabhacharyas. They have their own ways of doing. Don't generalize the ways of whatever is given by our Acharya to everyone. All four Acharyas have their own ways of taking their children to Lord. How to make a person fix in Krishna consciousness. That is their work. So every Acharya has their own ways and a wonderful ways because Acharyas are representatives of Lord. And Krishna has empowered the acharyas. So no acharya are going against each other. That is how sympathetic movement. One common thing can be done. You can take donation from anyone and everyone. So temple building is the most compassionate activity. Harinam Sankirtan, organizing festivals, most compassionate. Rath Yatra, most compassionate activity. Because Rath Yatra, nothing, कभी 100 रुपया कोई दे देता है, at least 100 rupees, चलो, take it. Compassionate activity. Raising funds, compassionate activity. The last thing is that only. Mind is not fixed, not able to follow regulatory principles, not able to work for Krishna. At least share your results to Krishna. And for that, who will go? Devotees only should go and ask, na? In the first stroke, devotee से कोई देता ही नहीं, वो जाना ही नहीं. If you say nobody is giving, that means you don't want to show your compassion. And then why Lord will show compassion to you? You are not able to work for Krishna. You are not able to share your results with Krishna. You are not able to fix your mind with Krishna. You are not following the rules and regulations. Then what will happen? Life becomes a mess. Because being a devotee, knowing everything, still not following the 4 things, then if regulations are also not followed properly, there are people who seem to be devotee, but they don't chant. They don't follow rules and regulations. They don't even share their contribution also. They don't work for Krishna. So they are known as cheating devotees, cheater devotees. They act to be devotees, but they are not devotees. Real devotees are those who have sympathy towards others, who walk on the street, who give Bhagavad Gita, who take part in every festival enthusiastically. Understand, that person is a real devotee. Enthusiasm, उत्साह निश्चया धैर्य तत्त कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागा सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर भक्तिर प्रसिद्ध. You can be in any part of the world. If your consciousness is there, yes, the festival is there. Like whenever we have festival, we have Aruna Mataji from Ahmedabad doing so much of work, engaging everyone. Yes, what happens? Your mind actually is fixed in Krishna. By going to people, you are leading everybody to Krishna. So Krishna hooks that person. It's very important. If we are following Srila Prabhupada's movement, Srila Prabhupada was so merciful. He's so merciful. That is why he went to everyone. And somehow or other, hooked them in Krishna consciousness. Gita read.
Hare Krishna. Ataitadapyashaktosi kartum matyogamaashrita sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Purport. It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial, or religious considerations, or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or so many other difficulties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifice and special functions of punya or special work in which the result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. It is also found that one when who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution. He gives up the hard-earned results of his activities. That is also recommended here
because by the practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually, and in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his actions. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc., may be accepted so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 18.46, we find it is stated, Yatah pravrittir bhutanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method. Hare Krishna.
Yataha pravrittir bhutana. If you make him do charity, he doesn't know what he's going to get. It is said here. The sacrifice will slowly elevate him, gradually elevate him. That is why this dhanam, punyam is very important. Very important. It plays a very vital role. And for the devotees only should become a beggar. Go and ask. Don't say, I will not ask. Every time, something or the other you can ask. Go seva ko dijiye. We have cows, na? Ask. You have friends, we have cows. Isn't it? From Prabhupada movements, temple is there. Annadanam is there. Ask. It is not just festivals. You can always ask. People will be fed up. They will say, Arey, what is this? Always you're asking. Even when they are fed up and talk like this also, na, they get Sukruti. Ye Hare Krishna wale kitna mangte hain? No problem. At least their consciousness is Hare Krishna people are asking. Their consciousness is always, as soon as they see you, they will remember, yes, he has come for charity. And after being so much of fed up, when they are completely fed up, without you asking, they'll start giving. Because they don't want to lose your friendship. So sometimes you have a hold in friendship. So take advantage of everything. Take advantage of everything. Make a person remind of Krishna. Is when I used to go and ask, Mataji aa gayi abhi wapas. I said, बार बार आऊंगी क्योंकि आपको हर महीना भगवान सैलरी देते हैं तो यू आर गेटिंग ना so you have to pay tax for the air, water, what you are getting, all the natural resources Krishna is giving. So then, without asking, people started giving me monthly. Okay, Mataji, you don't ask, we will only give you. So monthly donations should be there. Even everybody should start their monthly donations, wherever, which temple you are attached to. These monthly donations will purify your monthly income. First thing, make people do monthly donations. This is very, very important. The moment you eat, you should remember there are people who come to temple to eat. Wherever, whichever temple you are close by, whichever group you are associated with, whichever councils you are associated with, you should do this. The very most important aspect. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanadhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phala tyaga tyaga shanti ranantaram. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanadhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phala tyaga tyaga shanti ranantaram. So better than knowledge. Abhyasat. So, Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. If a person cannot take up to the practice of Krishna consciousness, is not able to donate also. No, I don't want to donate. I don't want to fix my mind in Krishna. I don't want to work for Krishna. I don't want to follow rules and regulations. I don't want to give any charity also. Krishna says, okay, at least cultivate knowledge. I'm not the body and soul. Cultivate that knowledge. Then better than knowledge is, okay, now you're not able to do tapasya also. Meditate, dhyana, do some meditation. Okay, you're not able to meditate also. Then renounce the fruits of action. By doing so, you'll attain peace of mind. Now, Krishna is not telling that you are going to attain self-realization. At least you'll attain peace of mind. There are people who don't want to do anything. They don't want to come in touch with Krishna consciousness. Then Krishna says, at least develop some knowledge. Have some knowledge. I'm not the body, I'm soul. Do some meditation. If you're not able to do some meditation, at least try to give some charity. If you're not able to do that also, then what is the use? Do some charity. At least have some peace of mind. Like people like to go do some charity, old age home, something they do. Krishna says, do something. At least peace of mind you will get. Self-realization, Krishna has not spoken. Peace of mind. People are in search of peace of mind. Krishna says you will get peace of mind. Okay. This is a nice chapter, beautiful chapter. Jai Shri. All categories of people have been covered by Krishna.
Hare
Jai Shri
Krishna.
Mataji.
Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasah jnanadhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma balatyagah yagaschandiranandaram. If you cannot take to the practice, then engage yourselves in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. Purport. As mentioned in the previous verses, there are two kinds of devotional services: the way of regulative principles and the way of fruit attachment in love to the Supreme Personality of full attachment in love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For those who are actually not able to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, it is better to cultivate knowledge, because by knowledge one can be able to understand his real position. Gradually, knowledge will develop into the point of meditation. By the meditation, one can be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by a gradual process. There are processes which make one understand that one himself is the Supreme, and the sort of meditation is preferred is one is unable to engage in devotional services. If one is not able to meditate in such a way, then there are prescribed duties as enjoined in the Vedic literature for the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, which we shall find in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But in all cases, one should give up the result or fruits of labor. This means to employ the result of karma for some good cause. In summary, to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal, there are two processes. One process is by gradual development, and the other process is direct. Devotional service in the Krishna consciousness is the direct method, and the other method involves renouncing the fruits of one's activities. This one can come to the stage of knowledge, then to the stage of meditation, then to the stage of understanding and the super soul, and then to the stage of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One may take either the step by the step process or the direct to the direct path. The direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect process is also good. It is, however, to be understood that the indirect process is not recommended for Arjuna, because he is already at the stage of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. It is for others who are not at this stage. For them, the gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation, and realization of the super soul and Brahman should be followed. But as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, it is the direct method that is stressed. Everyone is advised to take to the direct method and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Something known as direct process, something indirect process. Both the processes are given, but the best is direct process. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna eva cha nirmamo nirahankara samadukha sukakshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dృఢనిశ్చయః मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धि यो मद्भक्त समे प्रियः Adveshta sarvabhutanam. Don't have any enviousness towards anyone. Maitra karuna evacha. Be friendly to all, kind to all. Nirmama nirahankara. Don't have any sense of proprietorship. Nirmama nirahankara. Nirahankara. There should not be any false ego. Sama dukkha sukakshami. In all the situations, be equal. Have forgiving nature. Shami. Santushta satatam yogi. Be satisfied. Yatatma dృఢనిశ్చయః. Have self-control. dృఢనిశ్చయ. With determination. Mayyarpita. Offer. Mana buddhi. Offer your mind and intelligence to me. Then he becomes Mad Bhakta, my devotee. Now Krishna is speaking about devotional aspect. Previous to that was, if a person is not able to do, okay, do meditate on super soul, do some jnana, try to attain knowledge, try to give charity, attain at least peace of mind. But now here, Mad Bhaktaha Same Priyaha. Who is the devotee who is very dear to me, who has all these wonderful qualities? He is equal to all. He has no enviousness. Very difficult. Even devotional service also, if you see, they have enviousness. At least he has taken up the path of devotional service and slowly enviousness goes up. Devotional service will first Cheto Darpanam. It will Cheto Darpanam Marjanam. It will clean the contamination which has accumulated in the heart. Okay. Anuj Prabhu, read.
Hare Krishna. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna eva cha nirmamo nirahankara samadukha sukha shami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dృఢనిశ్చయ maya mayyarpita mano buddhiryo madbhaktam samme priya. Translation: one who is not envious but is kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself as a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal to in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence fix on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Purport. Coming again to the point of pure devotional service, the Lord is describing the transcendental qualification of a pure devotee. In these two verses, a pure devotee is never disturbed in any circumstances, nor is he envious of anyone, nor does a devotee become his enemy's enemy. He thinks this person is acting as an enemy due to my own past misdeeds. So it is better to suffer than protest. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8, it is stated, Tatte nukampanam su samiksha mano
Tattenukampartam samikshamaano munjane vatmakrutam vipakam yatmavadodhe bhutran namaste jive tayo muktipade sadai bhav Tattenukampartam samikshamaano munjane vatmakrutam vipakam. Just wait for the mercy of Krishna. Hrid Vag Vapu. With your heart, that means your consciousness. Vag means your speech. Vapu means your body. Just how Krishna in all circumstances. Just do whatever the work has been allotted to you. Hridvagva Purvir Vidadan Namaste. Jivetayo Mukti Padai Sadai Bhak. You are an eligible candidate for liberation. When you wait for the mercy, you don't demand mercy. Never demand mercy. You should do this, you should do that. When you demand something, you don't get. Your heart becomes very hard. When you wait for the mercy, like father has a property for the son, but the son cannot say, give me the property now only. He has to wait to get the property of Lord, of father. In the same way, one has to wait to get the mercy of Krishna. You cannot demand. The moment you demand, the moment you expect, you lower yourself in devotional service. Very important this verse. Tattenu kampatam susamikshamaну bunjane vatmaputam vipakam hridavagava purbir vidadan namaste jiveta yomukti padai sadai bhak. Then he becomes an eligible and a suitable candidate for liberation. And what is the liberation meaning? Mukti hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vivasthita. That is the meaning of mukti. Understanding our position with Lord. We are always servants of Lord. We cannot demand anything. Servant cannot demand anything. Okay, read first.
Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far greater than I am suffering now. It is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord that I am not getting all the punishment I am due. I am just getting a little by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is always calm, quiet, and patient despite many distressful conditions. A devotee is also always kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Nirmana means a devotee does not attach much importance to the pains and trouble pertaining to the body because he knows perfectly well that he is not the material body. He does not identify with the body. Therefore, he is freed from the conception of false ego and is equipoised in happiness and distress. He is tolerant and he is satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of the Supreme Lord. He does not endeavor much achieve to something with great difficulty. Therefore, he is always joyful. He is completely perfect mystic because he is fixed in the instruction received from the spiritual master, and because his senses are controlled, he is determined. He is not swayed by false arguments because no one can lead him from the fixed determination of devotional service. He is fully conscious that Krishna is the eternal Lord, so no one can disturb him. All these qualifications enable him to fix his mind and intelligence entirely on the Supreme Lord. Such a standard of devotional service is undoubtedly very rare, but devotee becomes situated in that stage by the following regulative principles of devotional service. Furthermore, the Lord says that such a devotee is very dear to him, for the Lord is always pleased with all his activities in full Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Next. यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षमर्षभयोद्वेगै मुक्तो यस्य च मे प्रियः यस्मात् न उद्विजते lokah. He is not putting anybody in difficulty. And also, na udvijate. He is not disturbed by anyone. He is equipped in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety. That devotee is very dear to him. So he doesn't put others in difficulty, nor he is disturbed. He is equipped in both fear, anxiety, happiness, distress. Then Krishna says he is very dear to me. Okay, Mayur Prabhu, read.
यस्मात् यस्मान्नो विजते लोको लोकान्नो विजते च यः हर्षां हर्षामर्षभ योद्वैगै मृतो यः स च मे प्रियः.
Mukto.
Meaning,
Mukto, yes. Yeah.
meaning he by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. Purport. A few of a devotee's qualifications are further being described. No one is put into difficulty, anxiety, fearfulness, or dissatisfaction by such a devotee. Since a devotee is kind to everyone, he does not act in such a way as to put others into anxiety. At the same time, if others try to put a devotee into anxiety, he is not disturbed. It is by the grace of the Lord that he is so practiced that he is not disturbed by any outward disturbance. Actually, because a devotee is always engrossed in Krishna consciousness and engaged in devotional service, such material circumstances cannot move him. Generally, a materialistic person becomes very happy when there is something for his sense gratification and his body. But when he sees that others have something for their sense gratification and he hasn't, he is sorry and envious. When he is expecting some retaliation from an enemy, he is in a state of fear. And when he cannot successfully execute something, he becomes dejected. A devotee is always transcendental to all these disturbances, is very dear to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
It can only happen when he is completely in Krishna consciousness. Artificially, somebody very, very good. We don't want to be good in the society. One should be divine in the society. It's very important. Disturb, not putting others in difficulty, this all can happen only when you are completely sympathetic towards others in Krishna consciousness. Anapeksha, Shuchirdaksha, Udasino, Gatavitah, Sarvarambha Parityagi, Yomad Bhakta Same Priyaha. So my devotee is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities. Anapeksha is neutral. Shuchi is very pure. He is expert. Udasin is free from care. Gatavitah is freed from all distress. Sarvarambha. So he takes up all endeavors. Parityagi, renouncer. Yaha anyone. Mad Bhakta is my devotee. My devotee is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities. Is pure, expert, without care, free from pain, not striving for any result. Then he is very dear to me. Udasin is free from care. It means is neutral. Is expert, is pure. Okay. Pushpa, read.
अनपेक्षसुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तसमे प्रिय. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result is very dear to me. Money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. If automatically by the grace of the Supreme money comes to him, he is not agitated. Naturally, a devotee takes a bath at least twice in a day and rises early in the morning for devotional service. Thus, he is naturally clean both inwardly and outwardly. A devotee is always expert because he fully knows the essence of all activities of life and he is convinced by the authoritative scriptures. A devotee never takes the part of a particular party. Therefore, he is carefree. He is never pained because he is free from all designations. He knows that his body is a designation. So, if there are some bodily pains, he is free. The pure devotee does not endeavor for anything which is against the principles of devotional service. For example, constructing a big building requires great energy, and a devotee does not take to such business if it does not benefit him by advancing his devotional service. He may construct a temple for the Lord, and for that he may take all kinds of anxiety, but he does not construct a big house for his personal relations. Hare Krishna.
So when you say free from anxiety, Prabhupada writes, which anxiety? Material anxiety. Spiritual anxiety should be there. If spiritual anxiety is not there, how will you put people in Krishna consciousness? When you make a temple, naturally fund is required. When you take up the endeavor of running so many projects in the temple, how are you going to do that? For that, everybody should come together. Then only we have to take anxiety for that. Next. Yona rishyati na dveshti, na shochati na kankshati, shubha shubha parityagi, bhakti manya same priyaha. So he doesn't take any pleasure. When there is some pleasure, he doesn't rejoice for anything. Neither he grieves, neither he laments, neither he expects. Shubha Shubha, there is some auspicious, inauspiciousness. In both the situations, he has given up all these reactions. If there is something which is favorable happening, he doesn't rejoice. Something which is unexpected, still also he is not in grief. In this way, the devotee is very pure to me. Okay. Palash, read.
Hare Krishna. Yo na harshati na dveshati na sochati na kanchkati shubha shubha parityagi bhaktiman same priyaha.
Bhaktiman
Yaha same priyaha. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laminates nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. A pure devotee is neither happy nor distressed over material gains or loss, nor is he very much anxious to get a son or disciple, nor he is distressed by nothing getting them. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he does not laminate. Similarly, if he does not get what he desires, he is not distressed. He is transcendental in the face of all kinds of auspicious, inauspicious, and sinful activities. He is prepared to accept all kind of risk for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of his devotional service. Such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Sama shatrau cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayoho शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु सम संग विवर्जितः सम शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु सम संग विवर्जितः तुल्य निंदा सुतिर्मौनी संतुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेत स्थितर्मतिः भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः तुल्य निंदा स्तुतिर्मौनी संतुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेत स्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान में प्रियो नरः. He is equal to enemy also, friend also. In the case of honor and dishonor, both he is peaceful. In the cold heat, sukha dukha, is equipized. Samasanga vivarjita is free from all associations. Tulya is equal to everyone. Ninda is equal in somebody is defaming him, somebody is appreciating him. In all, he is just peaceful. He is silent. He is satisfied. He is satisfied with everything. Aniketa. He has no residence. Stiramati. Though he stays in his house, but for him the real residence is Krishna's lotus feet. Bhaktiman me priyonara. This way is always engaged in devotional service. Okay. So in all the situations, he is just peaceful. Devotee should be peaceful, not agitated. Agitation is not the lakshana of a devotee. For everything, anxiety, that's not a lakshana. If we think that we are the ones, we should do everything, just be peaceful. Everything happens according to the will of Krishna. If we just wait for His mercy, we get His mercy. In all the situations, mana, apmana, just be peaceful. Okay, Goloka read.
Hare Krishna. समाशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतस्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. Purport: a devotee is always free from all bad association. Sometimes one is praised and sometimes one is defamed. That is the nature of human society. But a devotee is always transcendental to artificial fame and infamy, distress, or happiness. He is very patient. He does not speak of anything but the topics about Krishna. Therefore, he is called silent. Silent does not mean that one should not speak. Silent means that one should not speak nonsense. One should speak only of essentials, and the most essential speech for the devotee is to speak for the sake of the Supreme Lord. A devotee is happy in all conditions. Sometimes he may get very palatable foodstuffs, sometimes not. But he is satisfied, nor does he care for any residential facility. He may sometimes live underneath a tree, or he may sometimes live in a very palatial building. He is attracted to neither. He is called fixed because he is fixed in his determination and knowledge. We may find some repetition in the descriptions of the qualifications of a devotee, but this is just to emphasize the fact that a devotee must acquire all these qualifications. Without good qualifications, one cannot be a pure devotee. Harav abhyat tasya kuto mahad gunaha. One who is not a devotee has no good qualification. One who wants to be recognized as a devotee should develop the good qualifications. Of course, he does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualifications, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps him develop them. Hare Krishna.
Last verse. Ye tu dharmamritamidam yathoktam paryupasate shraddhavan श्रद्धानामत् परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः ये तु धर्मामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धानामत् परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः. मेरे को क्या बोल रहे तुम? ये तो धर्मामृतमिदम. Amritam, this dharma, this religion is Amritam. Which religion is Amritam? Devotional service is Amritam. There is no loss in this. Yathoktam pariyupasate. Yathoktam. Krishna says, pariyupasate. One should be completely engaged, Shraddhadhanaha, with faith. Mat paramaha. Shraddhadhana mat paramaha. Krishna says, with faith, take shelter to me. And that devotee, bhaktaha ativa me priya. That devotee is very dear to me. So Krishna has given this wonderful impersonal, imperishable knowledge. This is the most imperishable knowledge. Krishna says, "Ye tu dharmamritam idam, yethoktam paripasate." Krishna says, one who follows this Shraddhadhana Matparamaha, one has to follow this with great devotion. Whatever Krishna says, every word one has to take it. Bhakta stetiva me priyaha. One cannot just choose what I want. Whatever Krishna says, just one has to take it with great faith. Okay? Jai Shri Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna. Yedu dharma vridamitam yadhoktam paryupasate shraddhadhana matparamaha bhaktaste tiva me priyaha. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Purport. In this chapter, from verse 2 through the end, from May Avyashamanomi Vyemam, fixing the mind on me, through Yedu Dharmadridam Idam, this religion of eternal engagement, the Supreme Lord has explained the process of transcendental service for approaching Him. Such processes are very dear to the Lord, and He accepts a person engaged in them. The question of who is better, one who is engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman, or one who is engaged in the personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was raised by Arjuna. And the Lord replied to him so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to personality of the Godhead is the best of all process of spiritual realization. In other words, in this chapter, it is decided that through good association, one develops attachment for pure devotional service and thereby accepts a bona fide spiritual master, and from him begins to bear the chant and observe and the regulatory principles of devotional service with faith, attachment, and devotion, and thus become engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. This path is recommended in this chapter, therefore, there is no doubt that devotional service is the only absolute path for self-realization, for the attainment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The personal conception of the Supreme Absolute Truth, as described in this chapter, is recommended only up to the time one surrenders himself for self-realization. In other words, as long as one does not have the chance to associate with a pure devotee, the personal conception may be beneficial. In the impersonal conception of the Absolute Truth, one works without fructive result, meditates and cultivates the knowledge and understands spirit and matter. This is necessary as long as one is not in the association of a pure devotee. Fortunately, if the one develops directly to desire to engage in Krishna consciousness in pure devotional service, it does not need to undergo step-by-step improvement in spiritual realization. Devotional service is described in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita is more congenial. One need not bother about materials to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of the Lord, everything is carried out automatically. This end of the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of devotional service. Hare Krishna.
So here 7 to 12th chapter Bhakti Yoga completes. So 13th onwards we have Jnana Yoga, that is also known as Sankhya Yoga. The second chapter itself we saw all the 3 yogas, that is Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Now more elaborately Krishna will speak on Sankhya Yoga. Why it has come after Bhakti Yoga? Because Bhakti Yoga has been placed in between Karma Yoga and Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya means understanding how the constitution of the body is, how the soul is separate from the body. At the same time, how is this body, how the body functions. So the next chapter itself, the modes of material nature, it starts with that. The body, though seems to be same, but there is a modes which are affecting one's behavior, one's taste, one's behavior. So 13th chapter will be the modes of material nature. That is how the constitution of the body is. Earth, water, fire, air, ether may be the same. But pradhana, that is sattva guna, rajogun, samatamo guna, that differs. Okay. So in this, any questions you can ask. There's a question which was asked by Palash Mataji, that how
Yesterday,
a dog,
dog and
how a dog or a human, how is that both are treated equally? If we go to the 5th chapter, we have sama panditaha samadarshina. So when he sees a brahmana, when he sees Gavi, when he sees Hasti, how is it that he is equal to everyone? 1 minute. So now, how a person is equal? He sees Paramatma in everyone's heart. That is how he is equal. Not that he is going to make the dog sit in the temple when the class is going on. You also sit. No. He has compassion towards everyone. He knows why he has got a dog's body. The living entity has got the dog's body because of his own karma. So here we'll stop. Monday, any questions we can hold till Monday now. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Panchakalpatarudesh. Person good. Paritanam Pavane Bhi Vaishnavi Namo Vaishnavi की जय। Prabhupada की जय।